All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mindgasms. So, I wanted to make a little Mindgasms Quickie video, just a little rant about John Wick and how it's murder porn and the movies and the character are murder porn. And I'm not saying that in a disparaging way at all because I love it for the murder porn that it is. Like, I think that the movie, like John Wick, is murder porn because you get, like, if you enjoy violent movies and you go and watch John Wick kill hundreds of people per movie out of revenge, then like a lot of people watch because they get this like sick sense of enjoyment out of seeing John Wick murder hundreds of people, right? And it's interesting because it's just like you're living vicariously through that character, the assassin, through experiencing him being so violent and killing so many people. Like, I think that's one of the reasons why films can be so great, because it's such an efficient form of escape, right? Like, you can imagine that you're this killer without having to suffer the real life consequences of, dealing with the probably PTSD of killing so many people, and like actually getting killed or going to prison. But obviously in John Wick, because it's a movie, he's like fucking indestructible basically, and gets shot and killed and stabbed and injured so many times throughout the movies, yet he always survives. And I like that I like that they're basically like standard revenge movies where he kills a whole lot of people, but then there's more world building in the later ones too, is more in the second one and even more so in the third one. I'm curious about where they're going to go with that in the fourth one, which it seems like there will be, and people have talked about how cool that might be, because it seems like Fishburne, who plays that character, who unites with John Wick at the end of the third one, basically, when he almost gets killed, when he gets betrayed by the owner of that assassin hotel, basically. There's speculation about how cool that's going to be, because it's basically reuniting Matrix cast members. Obviously, Lawrence Fishburne was Morpheus, and Neo was played by Keanu Reeves, who plays John Wick. And yeah, that's going to be really cool. And I like also how I was debating about the title of this video, whether I should call John Wick murder porn or gun porn, but he does kill people mostly with guns, but he varies that somewhat and kills people with knives a lot, more so in the later movies too. Like, I think they vary the weapons that he uses more so in as the movies progress. Like, there was a lot of killing with knives and other edged weapons in the second, and especially the third one. And in the third one, he kills that guy with a giant hardcover book at the start of the movie, and and then obviously near the end of the third one too, those guys are kicking his ass because they're better at striking. Like, they're basically kicking the shit out of him, and he's worse at striking and better at grappling, like Jiu-Jitsu. I'm no MMA expert at all, but I did notice that. And so he basically eventually figured out that he could use his belt to help him with grappling and help him fight against their striking, right? So he does, like, he shoots people a fuck of a lot. He shoots with all kinds of different guns, like handguns, rifles, shotguns, and everything else. Like, he has that rocket launcher gun in the first one, and he kills people with knives, and there are these little hatchets and axes that he uses, and he uses that big giant hardcover book. And then he does lots of hand-to-hand combat, obviously, too. Apparently it's fairly realistic too. Like I said, I don't know, but I heard people who are experts like Joe Rogan talk about how realistic the grappling looks, for example. And apparently Keanu Reeves actually got trained by a really good former military guy who knows a lot about shooting. And what else? I'm sure there are all sorts of other weapons that he uses to kill people throughout the movies. And like when they're in the motorcycle chases and the car chases, and in the third one when he's when it's like a horse chase, him versus motorcycles, basically. That's really cool too. But anyway, yeah, I think. Oh yeah, one other thing I wanted to talk about is about how it's some aspects of the movies are sort of a dark satire, a little bit. Like there is so much violence that it sort of gets over the top sometimes, and sometimes when he kills people, it's like it's funny, it's done comically, like how I've talked about movies, other movies that do something similar to that recently with Dusty, aka the woke centrist, and Chris James when we've done our movie chats lately, like the comical violence in Starship Troopers and American Psycho, particularly the latter, for example, where the violence is so over the top that it's actually funny. And that actually happens in the John Wick movies to some extent sometimes too. And yeah, I bet we'll probably do another Mindgasms movie chat with Dusty, aka the woke centrist, and Chris James at some point too, because these are fucking awesome movies, of course. But yeah, anyway, that's I think all I wanted to say about my little quickie rant about how John Wick is murder porn and how awesome the character in the movies are. But yeah, anyway, John Wick is awesome. And like I always say, thanks for watching this. Thanks to those of you who subscribe to my channel, to those of you who click the like button on this video, share it, comment on it, and especially to those of you who give me money on Patreon, which I really appreciate, and I'll put the link for that in the description of this video like I always do. And like I always say, I love you all. Keep being the tiny beam of light that shines through the almost impenetrable darkness in the universe. And most importantly, always remember this: the funk cures all. And also, groove is in the heart. And also, watch John Wick, because it's fucking awesome. Alright. Adios. Until next time, everyone. Keep having mindgasms.